or you just want to be in the know, we're going to take you full tilt. I'm Lesley Lopez, and we're bringing you 100% Real with Lesley and Jamie. Jamie and I will bring you up to speed with the latest real estate news, market reports, community updates, and of course, our weekly top 5 list. You don't want to miss it. It's 100% Real with Lesley and Jamie. And a good Friday afternoon. TGIF, Jamie.
TGIF comes later in the show, honey.
TGIF
Hold on.
Here. I'm Lesley Lopez. You are listening to 100% Real with Lesley and Jamie on Talk Radio WRNR TV 10, and proud to say on Spotify, our new podcast is out, so check us out at 100% Real.
Yep. We now do Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, and basically every major podcast platform that's out there. You
can even check us out on YouTube and the Facebook page. You can go to 100% Real. You can go to the Talk Radio WRNR. You can catch us live, stream, follow.
I've got a new name for our show. We're going to scratch 100% Real. We're going to call it, If You Can't Find Us, You're Not Looking.
We're talking real estate. We're talking our top 5. We have a great guest with us today, and we're also going to do our weekly real estate roundup. But let's get it started. Let's go to the weekly top 5. Jamie.
The weekly top 5 this week are the top 5 events in Martinsburg. So Lesley and I love doing our local Martinsburg events.
This is part of our life. We've been here for a long time, and I'm a lifelong resident, and we've
raised a boatload of kids, and we've done all the activities, and Lesley grew up here. Our celebrity guest who's with us today, I'll reveal him in a moment. He also grew up here. So, Lesley, why don't you hit us with number 5?
Okay.
What's number 5?
One of our favorite things to do is go to the Berkeley County Youth Fair. Can't miss it. It's always the first week in August, end of July, first week in August. This year, they are celebrating their 73rd year. It's August 1st through the 7th. And the theme this year is called Berkeley County Youth Fair has 2020 Vision. Proud to say that when I was 16, I was a Berkeley County Youth Fair queen.
Yes, you were.
And so it provides a lot of opportunity for young people to get involved and to learn about their county and to learn about projects.
Incidentally, you were the prettiest youth fair queen ever.
Thank you.
You and your sister also.
Yes,
the Robinsons were running the table on gorgeous youth fair queens.
Thank you.
Yep. Hey, how about number 4?
All right. Well, if you were around town this year, you went to the Main Street Martinsburg Christmas Parade, and wow, I was shocked.
Awesome.
Yes, at the amount of people on those streets for this Christmas parade.
It was crowded.
Yes, there were over 100 local participants in the parade this year. It was a Tuesday night. It was cold. The parade route started at South Street and went all the way to the downtown at the square, and proceeds went to the town square, and it disbanded there as well.
And then they had music on the square, like a bandstand, brass band playing. It was amazing. If you missed it last year, please come again this year, because it was the best Christmas parade I have ever seen in Martinsburg.
Exactly. And then we ended up at the Peak King. Can't go wrong at the Peak King.
Well, it was freezing too, and we could still watch the parade go by while we were standing by the big old fish tank there.
All righty. Number 3. Mountain State Apple Harvest Festival.
That's a biggie.
If you are a local, you cannot not go to the Mountain State Apple Harvest Festival. We have celebrities. We have an apple pie bake-off. We have all of our celebrity breakfast and our brunch, and it's just so much fun, and we can't forget the parade.
Well, and we also have some history with this parade.
Oh, my.
Beginning with Lesley in 1991, maybe?
No,
90?
It was actually
89?
1990.
1990,
yeah.
she
No,
was.
oh, golly, I take that back. 1989, Mountain State Apple Harvest
stuck
Queen.
with 90.
And if you know Jamie and myself, you will know that this is how I met my husband. So I went to Colonel Sutherland.
I was also Queen Pomona.
I have to tell
the year before.
I have to tell the story. So
okay.
I went to Colonel Sutherland. He was the president of the Mountain State Apple Harvest Festival, and it was like November, and I was like, Colonel Sutherland, I really want to compete for State Fair Queen in Charleston.
Yep.
He said, well, what do we need to do? I said, well, we need to join the State Fair and Festivals organization. So the festival joined my year, so I could go compete. There were 54 festivals down there, and we stayed at the Marriott. It was held at the Civic Center in Charleston, and I happened to walk into the gift shop, and here's this good-looking guy, and it was like West Side Story. So I went back that day in the afternoon.
It actually was. I was in the Sharks. She was in the...
This was before debit cards, everybody.
What was the other?
What?
The Jets. She was in the Jets, and I was in the Sharks, right?
I guess so. I guess you could think of it like that. But anyway, I went back that afternoon and bought this hat pin in the store, the gift shop, thinking, well, I can write a check, and it's got my name and my phone number on it. And I get through the line, and he says, "Oh, Lesley." And I said, "Yes." He said, "My name's Jamie." I said, "Ah, I know." He had a pin on, right? I said, "Do you have any Big Red?" He said, "Why do you need Big Red?" I said, "Well, it makes your kiss a little longer."
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's that kind of show.
All right.
It was awesome. I saw Lesley come in the gift shop that day, and before she even got to the door, I remember what she was wearing, and I knew that she was the one. How often does that happen? Not very often.
I knew it too. That was the thing. So he came up 2 weeks later to see me. We went to Harper's Ferry that day. That was our first date, and then to the Bee King for dinner.
That's the boring stuff, honey. There's more history we have.
But he moved up a week later.
Right.
And then we were married a year after that.
Boy, she was.
And then
just going
Anna
all
came
day.
along a year and a half after that.
And then we planted a garden.
And here we are.
Painted
28 years later.
All right, I love you, honey. That's awesome. But Christian was the Grand Marshal one year of the parade. I wanted to mention that too.
Yeah.
Is that called the Grand Marshal?
Yes.
Something like that, yeah. Give us number 2.
Okay. We all love this. The Martinsburg Wine Festival.
Mm-hmm.
It's being held this year, May 23rd through the 24th at Boydville. Gotta go.
That's a lot of fun. We had great weather last year, right up until the last minute when Cashmere came out to play and it started to rain like crazy. And by then, Lesley and I really didn't care about the rain. So we danced in the rain.
Yes.
We danced in the rain. And it was a lot of fun. We had a real blast. All right, Lesley, hit us. Number 1.
Number 1. Oh, my gosh, yes. Fridays at 5.
Fridays at 5.
Who doesn't love Main Street's Fridays at 5?
I've never seen Matt Crawford down there. If he knew that was going on, that dude would be camped out there.
I tell you what, they've got the beer from all the local distributors.
Yep.
They've got the live music, and they've got the people.
And usually the weather, we got so lucky last year. The weather was beautiful every Friday.
So mark your calendars. This year, it's June 5, 2020. It starts. It goes all the way through mid-August. And if you don't go, you are really missing out.
We send every single one of our Airbnbers that stay in our places down there every Friday, and most of them go.
We send all our friends down there.
All our friends.
We hang out.
That's our reunion. It's our weekly reunion. We have a great time down there.
It's for young and old, but you do have to be of age to partake. So just to let you know that. And they also have all of the farmers market.
Yep. So it's a lot of fun. You got to do it.
Mm-hmm. You're listening to 100% Real with Lesley and Jamie on WRNR Talk Radio and Comcast TV 10 and Spotify. We'll be right back.
Join us for the 25th Annual 2020 Eastern Panhandle Home Builders Association Home Show, March 21 and 22 at the Berkeley Plaza, Martinsburg, with Saturday hours 10 a.m. to 7 and Sunday hours 10 a.m. until 4. The diamond sponsor is Pine Creek Structures, giving away an outdoor furniture set of a pub table and chairs carrying a lifetime guarantee. The platinum sponsors for the 2020 Home Show are Aspen Home Improvements, City National Bank, Luxury Bath Technologies, Rentals Unlimited, and Shenandoah Air Conditioning and Heating. The 2020 Home Show is the place to find home builders, remodelers, banks and lenders, landscape companies, heating and air conditioning contractors, and many other products just for you and your home, with over 130 companies displaying wonderful exhibits and great ideas. Gold sponsors for the 2020 Home Show include Negley's Water, Smoots LLC, Venegas Contracting LLC, S&L Water Solutions, and Hornby Media Group. Admission is always free, so please stop by the Berkeley Plaza March 21 and 22, shop the exhibits, ask some questions, and get some information for your next project. For a complete list of vendors, visit ephomeshow.com.
Hey, John Orem, I hear you're running for sheriff of Berkeley County. Can you tell me why the community should stand with you?
Sure. You know we're stronger when we stand together, right? When we leave people behind, we suffer. When we work together to solve our problems, we prosper, correct?
True.
I'm for a county that embraces good community values. Let's leave the go-it-alone mentality behind.
The go-it-alone mentality?
Let me explain. A sheriff cannot serve a community effectively without the involvement of the people.
It's time we elect a sheriff that's going to serve our community. John Orem, you have my vote.
Paid for by candidate. Are you looking for a full-service web design company right here in the Eastern Panhandle? Then look no further than Pro Design LLC, specializing in web design and development, web hosting, and application development. Pro Design is a locally owned company serving local clients since 1997 with a reputation of quality, creativity, and personal touch. Let Pro Design build or redesign your dream website. Find them online at professionaldesign.com or phone 304-676-9940.
When you're looking for the perfect gift, look no further than L.A. Roberts Jewelers at 146 North Queen Street in downtown Martinsburg. Choose from a huge selection of unique items, from the finest diamonds that make your eyes sparkle to exquisite timepieces, figurines, and collectibles. Buying from L.A. Roberts Jewelers means that you've made the decision to do business with people who've excelled in the industry for more than 100 years. They'll be here tomorrow when you need them, and if you need your jewelry or your watch repaired, they'll do that too. L.A. Roberts in downtown Martinsburg. Old World Jewelers for a new age.
A DUI arrest can have a devastating impact on one's life, your job, your driver's license, and in some cases, your very freedom. My name is Harley Wagner. I own and operate West Virginia's only exclusive DUI defense firm. Since 1999, I've been representing citizens throughout the Eastern Panhandle and state of West Virginia charged with DUI. Let my years of training and experience work for you.
The initial consultation is free at the Wagner Law Firm in Martinsburg. Phone 304-901-7400 or online at westvirginiaduilawyers.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to 100% Real with Lesley and Jamie here on Talk Radio, WRNR and TV10 and Podcast Universe, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher. If you're looking out there, you will find us. So thank you for tuning in. We have some pretty cool information for you now. But before we get to our celebrity guest, I just want to remind the listeners out there, this is a political season, but our show is not a political show. So when you hear people that have placed ads here with radio station, that doesn't mean that that's necessarily affiliated with what Lesley and we just don't do any political stuff. So, the disclaimer is out there that regardless of who you hear advertising during the time that you hear our show, doesn't mean that we have any association. Just want to put that out there. All right, Lesley, you want to do the introduction to our celebrity guest today?
We are so excited to have Joe Mercurio with us today. Joe has been on the director of the Fairness West Virginia Board for 9 years, and he's president of the Eastern Panhandle Pride, and he's been for 2 years. So welcome, Joe Mercurio.
Thank you.
Welcome, Joe. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for being with us.
It's probably a little bit of a stretch, but
I don't know, Joe. Everybody in town knows
infamous.
you. Good dude. If you follow him on Facebook, man, that's a lively discussion he has going on there all the time. I love following Joe on Facebook.
Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was born and raised in Martinsburg, like you. I graduated from high school in '87. Enlisted in the military, served in the Navy for 7 years, served in combat in Desert Storm. Came home I came home about 10 years after I left and decided to make Martinsburg my home again. When I left, this will kind of feed into what we talk about later, but when I left, I had left for good and didn't want to come back, but had a family member get ill and didn't want to not be here for her and my grandmother, and just things worked out. Ended up meeting my partner of 22 years and adopting 2 boys, and so it was a good thing that I came home. So
You have 2 dogs, too?
4.
4. Oh,
4 dogs.
2 Frenchies, 2 pugs. So basically, I have 6 kids.
Well, not 4 dogs, but we have 2 pugs also.
Yeah.
Down.
Oh, you had a pug and a Frenchie mix, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
That's
a
right.
good mix.
That's right. It is a good mix. They're just slobbering beasts. I love them.
they're lap dogs.
Yes, big time.
Yeah, well, we're here today to talk about the efforts that you and the other people that serve on the state board for, is it called?
Fairness West Virginia.
Fairness West Virginia. So this is a real estate show. So I just want to remind listeners that when we talk about anything that has to do with the perception of the community you live in, the clean air, or the position of your community to welcome new residents, it helps your real estate values.
Absolutely.
So that's the slant I look at this from.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about their efforts, Joe.
Okay, so Fairness West Virginia is the statewide LGBTQ advocacy organization and has been for, this past year was our 10th year. So what we do, we're more of the legislative advocacy part and work on behalf of LGBTQ plus and their allies, citizens of West Virginia, to make West Virginia a more welcoming place for everyone. Our efforts have been affected here personally with Martinsburg passing their ordinance. We've passed 13 ordinances in cities across the state. Just recently, we passed one in Athens and was very notable.
Congratulations, because that is a notably...
Yes.
Well, obviously, the citizens down there are with you. I know
Yes.
that the whoever is it a
Delegate Porterfield.
Yeah, he's not he does not like this idea.
No. He's a definite opponent, very outward bigot towards the LGBTQ community. I'm not going to pull any punches about what he is. He admits it himself.
Sure.
I mean, he all but said he would drown his kids if he found out they were gay.
I read that, yeah.
But so this city is in the heart of his district. And actually, this city is one of the only cities we've ever had pass with no negative comments from the city council. Nobody from the town came in and spoke against it. It was unanimously passed with 100% approval.
Well, congratulations, Athens.
Tell us about the ordinance. What does it detail?
Okay, so the ordinance is just kind of like what I'm going to talk about with the Fairness Act. They're the same thing. So basically what they do is they ensure that no LGBTQ person is fired, evicted, or denied public services because of who they are or who they love. The bill seeks, now the statewide bill is the same thing with the cities. They seek to add sexual orientation and gender identity as a protected class either in the Human Rights Act, which is the statewide, or becomes a city municipal ordinance. And that's all it does. And it's actually more importantly to know what it doesn't do, which is what...
Tell us about that, yeah.
What most of the negative attention is what we get. The Fairness Act does not apply to churches or any other houses of worship. It does not curb free speech or religious leaders from speaking. It only affects people, the LGBTQ population, but what it does affect is it stops people from being able to discriminate legally. And no matter what people will say, politicians or whoever who are against the ordinances or the Fairness Act itself, when it all boils down to it is, why would you be that apt to fight against something if it doesn't affect you? What you'll hear a lot from them is that, I love gay people, or I don't have anything against those people, but, I don't want frivolous legislation, or I don't see a reason to make them a special class of people. And none of that happens. It just simply boils down to your issue with these laws is that they stop you from discriminating openly. It does not block religious freedom. It does not block any of that. That is a crutch they like to lean on to pull support. They like to say that their religious freedoms are being infringed upon because LGBTQ people are protected. So really, when you put two and that's together, you just admitted that you don't want a law. That's right. That protects people against your ignorance. And I'm a Christian. I'm not saying that, and this by no means is a blanket statement against all religions or Christians, because I guarantee you, we have more support from the religious community than we have against. We just had over 100 faith leaders sign on to help pass the Fairness Act. Local pastors across all denominations, Christian, Muslim, Jew, and everything. So
this is not, I also make a point that this is not a politically correct position to take. It is the type of position where you want to be on the right side of history. This is going to, all this will change, and we will all look back on it and wonder why in the world were everybody so upset about it to begin with. And it's important to, have the right thinking about it. Right. So, Joe, we appreciate you talking to us about it.
No problem. I will welcome any chance to speak about it.
Oh, it's an interesting topic. I noticed that I'm going to read off the list of the 13 cities that have already enacted their non-discrimination ordinance, and they are Charlestown, Shepherdstown, Martinsburg, Harper's Ferry, Wheeling, Morgantown, Lewisburg, Charleston, Thurmond, and now Athens and Huntington.
And Beckley.
Oh, and Sutton has one, too.
Sutton and Thurmond.
Yeah.
Thurmond, the smallest city in the country to ever pass a non-discrimination ordinance.
No
Really?
kidding.
Yep.
I'll be darned. You know what kind of brought it to my attention? Lesley and I were traveling back from, we have a listing in Sutton, and
Beautiful.
we stopped in Morgantown. Have you ever ate there?
In Sutton,
At the Cafe Semino?
I stayed there.
Oh.
We actually had a...
then you know.
Whenever we pass an ordinance, we like to go and have our meetings there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I
and we
did not
stayed
know
there.
that.
I didn't know that
Oh
either.
my gosh, yeah, they're wonderful, wonderful people. I'm sorry, I think they're selling it now, though.
They
aren't
are
Well,
actually.
they've hired
we have
us
the
to sell it.
listing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they're longtime friends of
Oh,
ours.
they were
and it's a beautiful
incredible.
place.
Incredible place right on the Elk River. I mean, it was beautiful.
Oh, it is absolutely amazing. But we stopped in Morgantown on the way back through. We had to get a coffee at a Starbucks, and you kind of have to get off the highway and drive
I
around.
mean, I had to get the coffee at Starbucks.
Lesley needed a coffee, and when she wants coffee, it's either that or she's going to rip the top off the car. So we pulled into that really nice hotel there right off the highway. It's a Hilton or something like that. Okay. I walk into the lobby, and they have this big placard right in the lobby that says, Morgantown, welcomes the LGBT with the following city ordinance. And it broke down everything that they put in this big placard just when people were walking in the lobby. And I thought, my goodness, that is what a progressive, smart thing to do for people who are coming into town to look for real estate or look for a job, and they are not necessarily from a place or have a predilection of history that makes them hate that kind of thing. But after all, it appeared to be a very welcoming thing. I was shocked. It was great. It was fantastic. I took a picture.
Yeah, it's and the majority of, when we've polled, the majority of West Virginians, the majority of Americans in general, absolutely support passing all-inclusive LGBTQ non-discrimination. It's just, and it's great to see, like you said, when we go around to these cities, and most of the time we're very welcomed, in any way. It's really the minority. It's the minority opinion and position in the state. It's just they're loud.
Very loud. And on all of their issues, they get very, very loud. This is just another one of them. Yeah.
And they lie openly about, they create this bathroom myth that if it's passed, then gender monsters are going to come in and attack your kids in the bathroom, or they'll say it's bad for business, draws the wrong people. But I mean, ever since Martinsburg's ordinance has passed, I think the city of Martinsburg has progressed pretty positively financially. It has not.
Martinsburg is on the right path with a lot of these things. They really are.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I find that you were talking about people getting loud. When people are loud, they're scared.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That's what it's all about.
They're putting their fear and insecurity out there, and that's unfortunate. And when we talk to people about passing these, about working with passing these ordinances, it's, you have to remember that we're not just working to pass ordinances to protect our community as a whole. We're also working to better West Virginia. I mean, we all know it's no hidden fact that West Virginia has a bad reputation and a bad image. We have an image problem, not only in our country stage, but in the world stage. We're embarrassed nonstop by these delegates and politicians in Charleston that say these ignorant comments. And then that's the spotlight that leaves our state. It's like nothing comes out. That's what's not good for business.
Well, and it's more than just reputation. I mean, these guys obviously state the view that maybe they hold or they think their constituents hold.
Right.
But, I found a really good study online. The Williams Institute, UCLA School of Law did a study, and they used Arizona as a basis for their study for LGBT social climates because they fall dead center in all the states in the ranking for the way states treat the LGBTQ people in their state. The number one state for the best treatment was D.C., not a state, but that was singled out. Can you guess the very worst state on this list?
I know.
It's West Virginia.
Right.
Now, we love West Virginia.
I did
Lesley
too.
was born here.
Joe was born here.
Joe was born here. I've been here many, many, many years. We love our state. We love our town. We love our city. We love our county. We love our people that are here. But that is not a good association to have.
Well, and not only does it affect real estate, tourism, everything.
It does.
It causes a brain drain. It causes young people by far have friends that are gay or open to that. I mean, I have kids in my house all the time that are friends with my kids from baseball, school, and high school. That's not an issue for them. Mm-hmm. But what is an issue for them is the hatred and bigotry that they see. And it causes them to want to leave. West Virginia has a mass exodus of people every year. We have a negative population.
Do you have a number for that, Joe? How many people leave this state every year?
The last one that I saw was 60,000.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It is a net loss population problem.
And it's been for the last, I can't remember the exact amount of years, but for more than 5 years.
We're extremely fortunate here in the Panhandle. We are a growing community, but the rest of the state really does have a problem with the population loss.
And it has to do with economy, jobs, and that too. But it has been proven that is the attitude and the position that the state takes. I mean, one of the reasons that the Fairness Act has been blocked so vehemently this year is because the politicians say we don't believe there's any discrimination in West Virginia. It's like saying there's no oxygen in West Virginia.
Right.
Oh my. Yeah. Well, the one thing that we do in our contracts is we have a fair housing law. It's called Compliance with Fair Housing Laws. And I'm going to read that to you. It says property shall be shown and made available without regard to race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familiar status, or national origin, as well as classes protected by the laws of the United States, the state of West Virginia, and applicable local jurisdictions or by the Realtors Code of Ethics.
Right.
So
I will tell you, it's almost like, and this is our real estate contract.
Right.
That's a blanket statement, but it should have language in there that says LGBTQ. That should be in there.
Well, I guess it has to be adopted by the state.
Well, what will happen is once it's federally, they'll just abide by what the federal law says. And it really does say, it's kind of a saying that if you have a law against it, we have to abide by it. Right. But the thing is, if you don't, then you don't have to abide by it. Not saying that you all, whatever, but it happens. I mean, there are people, I experienced discrimination firsthand in my job, and it was just simply as ignorant as someone wanted me to take my family pictures down because they offended their religion. Gosh. And this is I always like to tell this story because this says how stupid they were. She wanted me to take pictures down because Chad and I were in our gay clothes. So,
what does that mean?
This is what it was. Chad and I participated in the Avon Breast Cancer Walk in New York. So we walked a marathon to help fight against breast cancer. We all wore pink clothes. So I have a picture of it on the outside of my cubicle, and that's the mentality there. That's what you have to fight against. But I should really probably thank that person because she's probably the one that really lit a fire under me to become an advocate, to start fighting for people. Luckily, my employer has protections already in there, so it just shows you why that's needed. And it's a cop out for Charleston to say that they don't believe it's needed. They're afraid.
Why they haven't passed.
They're afraid.
State ordinance, right?
They're more worried about getting elected than they are serving.
Right.
We're talking to Joe Mercurio. He is on the board of Fairness West Virginia, as well as president of the Eastern Panhandle Pride, and you've done that for 2 years. Thank you, Joe, for being with us. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're listening to Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10, as well as our podcast on Spotify. Stay tuned.
My name is Monica. I'm an elementary school teacher.
My name is Mitch. I'm a graphic design specialist.
We have 4 children. Currently, we have life and auto insurance with Erie. Our agent is helping us to move our homeowners insurance to Erie as well.
They've always been a good company and good customer service. If anything ever happens to me, my family will be protected.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
I'm talking with Ken Apple, certified public accountant in Martinsburg. Ken, why would I hire you instead of a large firm to take care of my taxes?
Well, Rob, when you hire me, you get me. When you hire a large firm, you may not know who you were getting each time that you come back to them. I have 35 years of experience doing this, and I listen. So I get to know the unique needs of my clients, and I can help them whatever their unique situation is, whether that situation is a life-changing event, marriage, divorce, death of a family member.
CPA Ken Apple, 263-1100.
This is Matt Miller.
This is Matt Crawford.
And we invite you to join us weekday evenings at 5 for Miller Time.
We'll talk a lot of sports and even throw things in that may not be sports related, but I can guarantee you one thing, we will have a fun time doing it.
And we'll be passionate about our arguments, and while we may not always agree, we'll at least agree to disagree.
We'll talk local sports, we'll talk regional sports, we'll even throw in some national topics as well.
And some great interviews as we get a chance to talk with some of the local coaches and playmakers themselves.
So join us weekday evenings at 5 on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
You're listening to 100% Real with Lesley and Jamie. It's February 21st, 2020. We're at Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10 and every single podcast platform that you listen to. So thank you for joining us. We've been talking to Joe Mercurio with Fairness West Virginia and Panhandle Pride. Lesley, did you have another question for Joe?
Tell us a little bit about how you started to work the ordinance in Martinsburg. Who did you talk to?
Okay. Well, what we do is, fairness itself, we don't like to, as an organization, we don't like to come in directly, and because the opponents will come in and say, oh, look, that Charleston organization is coming into Martinsburg telling them what to do. So we like to have people like myself when I did for Martinsburg. So what we'll do normally is talk, find out from the city council members. We'll talk to the mayor, to the legal, the city managers, and just to kind of get a feel, an idea of if they're open to this, and 90% of the time they are. Not more than not, we're contacted by a city council member. So what you do is you go in and you send in we have the ordinance itself, the written part. We go in, we present that to the city. You have your first reading, second reading. You open it up to the public to come in and debate. Well, Martinsburg's got quite heated, to say the least. Because we have several organizations in the state. The Family Policy Council of West Virginia is basically there just to fight. They're an arm, a focus on the family, which is a recognized hate group in the United States. So what they'll do is they'll send in people to come, and they start going around and petitioning and going to churches and organizations, and they rally people to come, and they spread this hate that we're trying to put sex offenders in bathrooms and all this kind of this garbage. So
you had your hands full here.
Yeah, it was. We started off, and what's turned out it was pretty good at first. Became a really big nightmare. I mean, the city council, they had to put up they had and I say inspired because that's what they do. They inspire hatred and they inspire fear. We had city council members that were getting threatened physically, were just, it was awful. It was so bad that our city council meeting, our open city council meeting, we had to have metal detectors for the first time ever outside the Martinsburg City Council. That's how bad it was. It was so bad. I mean, my mom went to one. I mean, she was almost in tears. Just you really don't experience and see and understand the real hatred. It's like physical in the room when you hear people saying these things.
Well, you did it, Joe, because the ordinance passed.
Yes, with a lot of help. I mean,
Still, congratulations.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Because the naysayers are going to be naysayers, but the people who don't realize it helps them are people who own real estate or run businesses and want to have a progressive community. It really helps everybody. Yeah.
And look at the businesses that have opened in Martinsburg since then.
I know. Martinsburg is really doing well. It's a welcoming community.
P&G was already kind of on their way in here. And granted, they're in the county, but they do business in the city.
And they live in the city.
Now we have a new company coming in, Clorox.
Yes.
Yep.
Just coming in.
Making
so obviously
litter?
It is not, we're making kitty litter.
They
right?
are.
And this is the first time they've expanded in years and years and years.
It's been a long time.
And they picked our community, and they're one of the things we always say, 99% of the Fortune 500 companies already openly support LGBTQ protections, and they want to come to a community that mirrors their attitude.
Speaking of support, Joe, what can people do to support the Fairness West Virginia's efforts to get this passed on a statewide level?
The biggest thing you can do is call, email Senator Carmichael, Delegate Hardy, our local delegates, no matter whether, and tell them, look, to me, this is a nonpartisan issue. It has very much been that way in West Virginia. I mean, Fairness has worked very hard to create and get nonpartisan support. We're one of the only southern states that has fought, and probably more what we would be an achievement is we fight back all the bad bills every year, the ugly bills. We're granted we may not get a whole lot of what we want passed, but blocking those bills is a big deal. I mean, look at Tennessee is just getting ready to pass a hateful bill.
Terrible.
But the biggest thing that you can do is just be part of Fairness, get emails, and we send out blasts and say, you please call this person, and just and say whether you and I would tell them, I would tell my friends they're Republicans, say, look, I'm a Republican, but I don't support this, because that's what a lot of the attitude with these, the Delegate Porterfields, the Patricia Ruckers, the Mike Folks of the world, they think this is what their constituents want, and it's not. They're in the minority, so tell them that.
Right.
Joe, if they want to get a hold of you, is there a website or a phone number?
FairnessWestVirginia.org is or EPP Pride, either way. But if you go to FairnessWestVirginia.org, it has my contact information. It has and my email and stuff to get a hold of me if you want to get a hold of me locally. But you can absolutely contact them too.
Cool. Panhandle Pride, you have some events coming this year, Panhandle Pride?
Yeah, we're in the works. We're going to do something a little bit different this year, I think. I don't want to say a whole lot because we haven't got it all approved, but trying to maybe do something more on a bigger monthly scale instead of one giant event, just to kind of, and then hopefully spread it around the Panhandle a little bit more.
I think that would be good because it keeps the awareness going.
Right.
It's another fun parade. I mean, I'm not trying to belittle this, but we were in New York one time, and we went up St. Patrick's Day, and I got caught in traffic, and all the New York City employees. So there were a whole cadre of police officers and then firefighters. These were all gay guys.
Oh, yeah.
And ladies coming through. And what a fun-looking parade that was.
DC's is pretty. DC's is a lot of fun, too. Fairness participates in their parade and festival every year.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's a good cause, and it's something that Lesley and I support. So
it's a human cause.
It is a human cause.
It is. All righty. Well, Joe, thank you very much for being with us today. I really appreciate it. You're listening to Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with our real estate roundup.
Hi, this is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I keep telling you that Hagerstown Ford has completely changed the car buying experience forever. And with a return policy easier than Walmart, Hagerstown Ford has a goal to deliver 350 cars and trucks per month. And when I say deliver, I mean deliver to you, where you are, just like Amazon does. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. The only way Hagerstown Ford can accomplish this extremely aggressive goal is to make the car buying process fast and easy. We simply refuse to play the dumb back and forth games that most dealerships want to play. There's absolutely no reason for you to waste your precious time at a car dealership. I assure you, there is no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that can beat our price. There's no dealership that will allow you to return your new car if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely has the best price, and we'll bring the car to you. And if you don't want it, return it, period. No questions asked. There's no reason to buy anywhere else. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience and get your new ride delivered to you.
Contact dealer for details.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
Come ride with us and now ride more easily. Tired of hunting for the right change to get on the bus? Now you can use your smartphone to pay for all your trips when you ride with EPTA and get 50% off your first purchase. Text the word TOKEN, T-O-K-E-N, to 41411 for the download link and download the new Token Transit app, which is available in the Apple App Store or on Google Play. Text TOKEN to 41411 and put the new Token Transit app to work for you when you ride with us.
Take the bus, come ride with us.
Floodwaters can spread E. coli bacteria. Here's Bill Kearns from the Berkeley County Health Department about what to do if your well is tested positive.
If it's just a one-time contamination, you can superchlorinate your well, which we have instructions at the health department. They could call and talk to us. You're providing an excessive amount of bleach down the well. Then you do a runoff to get that out of the system, to get the bleach through your lines, get any contamination out of there. You do a runoff of so long, and then you can have it tested again.
The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court in Martinsburg. Call 304-263-5131.
Since 1877, Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies have proudly supported our local community. Farmers and Mechanics has the insurance products to meet your needs, including home, auto, farm, dwelling fire, business owners, and umbrella coverage. Please contact your local independent agency for a review of your insurance needs and ask for a policy from the company that knows you best. Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies, just off Edwin Miller Boulevard on Administrative Drive in Martinsburg. FMIWV.com.
Thank you very much for joining us again. You're listening to 100% Real with Lesley and Jamie on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10 and every single podcast platform that's available in the digital world, I suppose. We've just joined that group, and we're excited about it. Welcome back, because we're going to be talking about our real estate roundup.
Yay.
Yep.
What's going on in the real estate world this past week, Jamie?
Okay, so here's a reminder. This is what we do every week on our roundup, is I literally give you a 1-week snapshot of what's happening here in Berkeley County. I think next week I'm going to start adding Jefferson to it too, just because people do have questions and concerns. So, all right. So this is a snapshot of all the houses that have closed in the last 7 days in Berkeley County. So, and it's similar to last week. 29 houses have closed in the past 7 days. The average sale price was $234,089. The previous list price was $255,665, and the days on the market were 79 days, and your list to sell price was about 98%. So that doesn't look right. It must be 96%. In any case, what that means is, and these numbers are a little skewed because last week's numbers,
they seem different.
Well, I think it's because it's a weekly snapshot.
Okay.
So one of these listings in here, for example, there was a listing that was on the market for $435,000. It ultimately sold for $400,000, but was on the market for 253 days. So because it's one of the 29, it threw the numbers off. It added a really large number in there on days on the market, and it put a pretty large number in there for current price.
Exactly.
For sold price, I should say.
We had a busy week.
We did.
Definitely. We featured last week 744 McDonald Drive. I will say we had multiple offers this past week. We are under contract with a first backup position ready to go. We're closing that sale next month. So, yes.
Leslie, what does that mean when you say first backup position?
That means that the person that had the contract that was in second place is willing to hang in there just in case things don't go well with the first contract. If first contract moves out, then the second contract moves right into place. So it doesn't cost them anything. They're just sitting tight, waiting to see if that first contract's going to close, because if not, then they move into first position. And
well,
folks,
keep in mind,
we
represent the seller in that case.
Yeah.
And what that effectively means is she has two buyers. She had three.
Yes.
But she had two that are willing to stay under contract in successive order. So she has contract one that she's accepted and a backup contract, and that's an amazing place to be if you're a seller. I'll tell you one other thing too. All this becomes public knowledge when it closes, so I'm not going to disclose any of the details. But I will tell you that this house did ultimately sell at a price over the asking price. This is becoming a little bit more common in the area, that you get multiple contracts and ultimately your final price ends up over asking price. So this just illustrates what we talked about last week. If you're thinking about selling and you're wondering if it's the right time to put your house on the market, Lesley, what would you tell them?
Yeah.
I know, she was shocked I even asked. Of course it's the right time to sell your house.
Right time. It's never the wrong time to sell.
It isn't. People are worried about the winter time. No, the inventory is so low, demand is so high.
We are in a community where we have a lot of people, and a lot of people need homes, and every single day someone's in a position where they need to buy a home. So, it only takes one.
Yep.
One buyer, one person to look at your house. You have to be priced right. You have to show well, meaning clean, tidy, put things away. It really makes a big difference. Do not overprice yourself.
I had Charlie Lowry, who works over at Citizens National Bank. I ran into him the other day. We were at a Berkeley County Chamber of Commerce event, and he says, Jamie, if I have a house, he was hypothetically, because it was his friend has a house in Shepherdstown. He's like, if I have a house and I put it on the market and it sells in 2 days, have I underpriced myself? And I said, well, no. The seller wants to sell. Why would the seller want to wait? But I think some sellers do come away from it with concern that they may have been able to get more money if they'd have listed it at a higher price, but they may have also waited for 60, 80, or 90 days.
Exactly.
So one of the things that Lesley and I were talking about that you cannot quantify when you put a house on the market is if it is beautiful, if it is clean, and if it smells good. That is a huge, huge difference between the houses you're competing against.
It doesn't take very much, just a little bit of elbow grease to just put things away. And maybe you do need to have a room painted or, clean up that landscaping out front, get rid of those leaves. And folks, I know we love our babies and we love our children, but put the toys out of the living room. The living room is not a playroom. So, make it so that it's presentable, that someone can see their furniture, their things in your home.
It's not uncommon that if you were to call us and ask us to come out and take a look at your house, don't be surprised if I say you should consider getting a small storage unit to put all your extra personal items, some of the children's toys, maybe extra furniture, additional stuff in your kitchen. Look, you have to declutter so people can make sense of your space.
And you're moving anyway.
Yeah,
you're going to have to move in anyway. So.
Now, I do have one other thing, Lesley, I wanted to mention about real estate. We had a client, and we're now seeing it on every single deal. It used to be pretty rare someone would get a home inspection on new construction.
Oh, boy, this is a big news.
Now we get them a regular basis, and we should be getting them every single time. So, Matt, if you guys are thinking about buying a new house that's just built, don't assume for a second that just because it's a brand new house, it doesn't need a home inspection. Let me tell you what happened. So, we get a home inspection in on a brand newly constructed house, and the outside GFI wiring is connected to the dining room wiring. There's no weep holes in the siding. It's wired wrong for the gas. When you have a gas service, you have to have it grounded. It was grounded incorrectly. A lot of things that were safety and functional items. So if you don't have a buyer's representation and you go directly to the builder, you're never going to get a home inspection. Remember, it costs you nothing. When you're talking to a builder, get yourself a real estate agent. They're smart, they're experienced, and it costs you nothing. Go ahead and use that resource.
And they can also help you negotiate all of those extras that you want and maybe get some things thrown in, possibly.
Absolutely.
It just depends on your deal. Every deal is different.
On this particular deal, we were able to get this client a discount on the price.
Yep.
They got a new deck.
Yep.
They got a water softener. What else did they get? They got a whole list of things that we were able to get worked into the deal.
Exactly.
And we were able to arrange for some short-term financing for them that we knew about that would cost them nothing on closing costs.
About.
So these are important things. Don't let a resource that's as valuable as knowledge lay unused.
And what's the most important thing about buyer's agency on new construction or existing? It costs you nothing, folks.
Costs you nothing as a buyer. Yep, costs you nothing as a buyer.
Nope, the seller pays for it.
Definitely protect yourself. Buying a house is your most expensive thing you'll probably do in your entire life. So do it right.
It's the biggest investment that you will ever make.
Yep.
Real estate. You're listening to Talk Radio WRNR and TV10. We're going to take a quick break. We are coming back with our TGIF. What's going on this weekend? See you in a minute.
Rumors are flying. There's this big merger everyone is talking about. Two real forces in the world joining forces. This is big stuff, but it's all rumor. Is this merger really going to happen? If so, when? Where? Who else is involved? Mergers of this stature affect a lot of people. At Bechtel Jewelers, we say, sir, it's time to confirm the rumors. This is Lori from Bechtel Jewelers. It's true. People are talking about you and that woman you're so crazy about. It's so obvious to everybody that you're meant for each other. And yes, talk about two forces in the world. You, her, watch out, world. So get in here. Let's find the diamond and the setting. Just perfect for her. Just what she's dreamed of. Then get back to her pronto. Down on one knee, open that little box, say those few words. She'll probably say more than a few back. Of course, when she sees her diamond, she might not be able to say anything at all, except the one word that confirms that beautiful merger. And then spread the news. Confirm the rumors. This merger is happening. Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South in Inwood.
Find them online at BechtelJewelers.com.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population, of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources. Certainly has helped take us to another level.
My family, we're always on the move. Little brother is living it up.
What's up, sis?
See Mom made dinner?
I will see you there.
And my big brother, he's got his hands full. But when Mom says come home for dinner, what could possibly stand in our way? Nothing. When you're part of a family like this, you always show up. The Honda family of SUVs, awarded Best SUV Brand for 2019.
Miller Honda, south of Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. www.mymillerhonda.com.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Remember that last trip to the auto mechanic?
I also think your solenoid gasket is bad.
What?
Yep, that'll be another $500.
Forget that and go to D&N Auto Specialist at 230 Tavern Road, Martinsburg, where honesty is their best policy. Serving the Eastern Panhandle since 1974, D&N Auto is family-owned and operated, specializing in exhaust alignments and tires. From general maintenance to major overhauls, they'll treat you right. Call D&N Auto Specialist at 304-267-4078.
Are you
That's
Tom?
right.
Can I call you Tom Cruise?
I'm already mentally on Saturday. So thank you again for listening to 100% Real with Lesley and Jamie here on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10 and in the podcast universe. Normally Lesley is going to take over this part right now and just blow it out towards the end, but I do have one thing to quickly add. So if your weekend starts today at 7:30, you should have your rear end planted over at Hedgesville, watching Hedgesville and Martinsburg play tonight. It's going to cost you $5. It's just right around the corner. Martinsburg is 15-3. Hedgesville 16-3. Martinsburg has the edge. They have the one win so far in this two-part series. So this, according to Matt Miller, the sports genius here in the building, this is a big deal. It's a very big game. All right, so that was Friday. Leslie, give us for the weekend.
Oh, my goodness. If you know me, you know my daughter, you know us, we love wineries. So, going on this weekend, we're going to go to Saturday. Everybody's looking for something to do, and the wineries are just a very popular thing at this time. We're so close.
Weather's supposed to be nice, too.
All we ask is that you take a designated driver.
Yes.
Because here we go, folks. Are you ready?
Lay it on us.
Okay, so Saturday, we are going to the Hot Chili at 8's. It's 868 at the Estate Vineyards. It's the chili cook-off. It's in Purcellville. It's right there off of Harper's Ferry Road. It's running tomorrow from 12 to 5.
Well, get there at 12 then.
So they're going to have wine tasting going on as well. There is an annual barrel tasting going on tomorrow, too, at the winery at Bull Run in Centerville, Virginia. The cost for that is $45. Folks, if you're on Facebook, you can find all these events in just typing in the wineries, because every weekend it's something. So that's Saturday and Sunday.
Gotcha.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, tomorrow, the winery at Bull Run also is having a cookie and wine pairing going on. The cost is $20. And
sit down, Matt Crawford.
Yeah.
You can't do but sit down.
It's the sugar. There's live music with Matt Waller as well. So that's $20. It sounds so much fun.
That'd be a
You
blast.
could go from one place
to the
next place to tomorrow afternoon to the Semitic Grog celebration at Bro Vineyards.
That's close.
It's from 11 to 6. Oh my goodness, the cost is $15 if you're a member. It's $12 if you're at 868. I guess you just cross the road
then
and
you just go
to
right
Bro.
across the street to Bro. And the Bro, they have it's a Mardi Gras, pre-Mardi Gras celebration, which is going to be really a lot of fun. They have special food, they have special wine. It's going to be awesome.
But also tomorrow going on at those, they call it Wine 301, at advanced class on the basics in wine tasting. So it's 2 hours, and then you come, and then they say you'll be a wine snob at the end of your 2 hours. You're going to be with Carl.
So
Carl is
your pinky goes out when you're... That's when you learn.
Is
how
that
to
what
put
I
your
look
pinky
for
out.
when it's time?
When that pinky goes out, you're a wine snob.
No, that means that you probably need a ride. But anyway,
right.
It's $40. And if you use the promo code LWE357, you can get in for $20.
What? We might be going down there.
I know. And last but not least, on Sunday, because you have to end out, the weekend of having a good time here at the Little Washington Winery on 72 Christmas Lane. 72 Christmas Lane.
Wow, Christmas all year long.
In Washington, Virginia, they're having a triple threat. They're having cheese, chocolate, and wine. It's $40 per person, but if you use the promo code, you can get a discount, LWE357, and you get a free BOGO class.
What's a BOGO?
I'm not sure we got it.
Oh, you didn't go that far in.
I know.
Well, you may love it. If there's wine involved, who cares?
Okay, so that is the wine tour of the weekend. When you end up, if you want something to do at the end of the night, head on over to Harper's Ferry Brewery, because you cannot not end the afternoon or evening without going to Harper's Ferry.
I've got to add one thing, and this is very, very important. If you don't feel like driving out of town, do what Lesley and I did last Saturday.
What did we do?
We went to the Peking.
We did.
And we had a buffet dinner for $11.99. And then we had drinks. We had... it was crazy. It was like $50 for
walked out
2
of there.
dinners, drinks, everything else. It was a blast. So if you want to stay close to town, there are great restaurants downtown. You got Bricks 27, you got the Blue White if you want some biscuits and gravy, Casa Vazone. It was great stuff to do downtown.
Sweet Hut.
But we kind of discovered this Friday and Saturday only. Is the only 2 nights that Peking has that buffet. It's $11.99.
Plus, they treat you like you are just royalty. They are so good to you.
Well, Lesley ordered a glass of wine, and they brought her a jug that was full to the brim.
No
He could
wonder
barely
we had a
carry it
good
across the floor.
weekend.
Yeah, it was a
No
lot of
wonder.
fun. It was a whole lot of fun.
All right, Jamie. Well, I think we had a really good show today. We
it
did
was
our
great.
top 5 events. We talked to Joe Mercurio about the West Virginia Fairness Act and the LGBTQ community, and anything else that we missed beside the wineries.
Not really, but join us next week where me and the Mats will be doing a push-up contest, and we'll need you to root along.
One thing, I'd like to say congratulations to Jamie. Put his hat in for City Council.
Thank you very much.
Here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. So keep us on the block here.
Yes.
Keep an eye on us.
That's right. We'll be talking about that a lot coming up.
Exactly. You're listening to Talk Radio, WRNR and TV 10. I'm Lesley.
I'm Jamie.
And we'll see you next week on 100% Real. Have a good weekend.
News on the hour, your home for original reporting.